last caller just said he's not going to get his children vaccinated. I mean, to me, it has sealed, like John F. Kennedy said, those who make a peaceful revolution possible, make a violent one inevitable. I mean, if people come to try to take my child, I'm not going to allow that. And I have there are a lot of great police officers, and I know that they're talking in the wings. A lot of them have a lot of talk, but they're not going to say it on the top of the waves because they could lose their jobs or be looked at strangely. But it's not, if you're acting unlawfully, you shouldn't have the uniform. That's all. Well,
here's the deal. People better get looked at strange and better get in trouble. They can't stop us all saying no. I mean, my gosh, listen, the ATF last year tried to ban 63% of shotguns manufactured in the last decade, saying if they're bottom loading, they could be altered so they're illegal. And people said, okay, come try to get them. You're right. It's a certain point. I'm not looking for trouble, but nobody's touching my children. Nobody's putting anything in them. Nobody's doing, it's over. I mean, exactly. I don't like talking about it, but I'm done. I'm done with these crooks. And that's why they're massing all this force against us. Doesn't matter. They don't have moral authority. It's weak. All of it is garbage. Anything else, sir?
Yes, sir. The good police officers and the good military guys like Stuart Rhodes and others who know their oath and understand it, I believe that the time has come for them to be a lot more vocal. The more dangerous it gets, the louder we should scream. We should never sit down, and only with God's help and having right on our side can we keep on coming.
I hear you. I hear you. That's the founder of the Texas Rangers said that. Folks, I've read the Health Care Act. I know all about it. I wish it wasn't bad. This is not hyperbole. It's horrible. It's horrible, 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 and it's designed to get worse over time. They know how to kill us, man, slow. It's not going to get phased in for another year, and then it metastasizes, and it takes over, and you pay it to foreign banks. The Watcher in Mass. Thanks for holding her on the air, Watcher.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, buddy.
I don't express my opinions.
Sir, I can barely hear you. Speak up.
Okay. 1 second.
I need you to talk right to your telephone, brother. I want to be able to hear you. Go ahead.
How about now?
Go.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I normally don't express my opinions. I watch and I wait till it's time to act. It's time to act. The Constitution has been slaughtered, and it reminds me of a song by Green Day, The American Idiot. I don't see that there's anything that's going to wake up the major population at this point. And, I don't want violence to be the action, but unfortunately I believe they're going to force that at this point. When the justices just cow down to the tyrant president and his administration, what other choice do we have but to follow our founders and do what they would have done?
Well, what we do is we go out first to all of the... I understand the physical angle, and why people think of that, but we should go to all the city halls, all the meetings, all the little public meet and greets with these Congress people, and say, listen, you little rat, you repeal this tax to the private Federal Reserve. Listen, the fact that this money is paid to the Federal Reserve, we've got it. The average person, when they learn this isn't just a tax, but it's a tax to insurance companies. I mean, listen, they're gearing up against us. They're probably going to start a fight. But I think whoever shoots first loses. Our forebears didn't shoot first. When the government comes to take the guns, things like that, or individually, you got to do what you got to do to protect yourself. But, I mean, here's an example. Who do you go after physically then?
Who do you go after physically? Yeah, that is the big question, since everybody we're supposed to go to for protection and to stand up for our rights and enforce the Constitution are violating it. Now, beyond that, I have one other question. I need your
sure, throw it
opinion.
out. Throw it out. Throw it out.
Do you think Syrian girl is legit?
Well, yeah. I mean, she's just a guest. Lives in another country, doesn't live in Syria now, and she's criticizing how they're using Al-Qaeda. I mean, yeah, she's legit giving her perspective on it. The news she covers is right out of the news. So, yeah. Oh, boy. It is horrible what's happened. And it disgusts me to levels I can't even describe. But we've just got to take this anger and get it out there. That's why we have the Obama Scumbag Dictator Contest. Phase 1, $5,000 winner. $10,000 phase 2, not this Friday, but next Friday. By midnight, have them in. I'll announce the winner the next... oh, my gosh. I've got to announce the winner of the reporter contest today on the Nightly News. And, guys, remind me to play those tomorrow, the male and female winners on the show. This is a big deal. And, again, they win $5,000 apiece. They win $5,000 apiece, and then they're in the running to get hired here if it all works out, and they want it, and we want it. And we've got other great people here in the office as well that are starting to do reporting for things like PlanetInfowars.com. We've got Christy. We got Darren McBreen. We got Aaron Dykes. We've got Paul Watson doing it. We've got Rob Dew doing it. So we're going to have a lot more reporters. What we need is a couple more video editors, a couple more reporters, another graphics person or so, because we're overwhelmed. I'm not complaining. But it just gets, I mean, we had like 600 plus good submissions. And months went by just trying to figure out who the winners were. I'll be quite frank with you. We've got it down to like 4 or 5 people. I've got to go after the show and do a CBS interview. And then I've got to start doing the news. And I got to do 2 interviews for the Nightly News. I'm not complaining. I just don't know. I was supposed to choose the winners last night. And I'm like, well, is it them or is it her or is it him? Or so, I mean, the reason I'm not announcing it now is I still haven't figured it out. I mean, talk about look out too successful of a contest. I mean, over 600 good submissions. 600. And everyone gets an A for effort. Everyone did a great job. So many great videos. All of you. And then I feel bad not letting everybody be a winner. And then I want to hire, of the top 10, I want to hire like everybody, but I don't have the money. We better sell some Beyond Tangy Tangerine at InfoWarsTeam.com. And I want to, everybody's good. We got CJ new on the crew in the last month, really, in the last few weeks, really kicking butt. And so we're trying, excuse my French, we're really trying to go to the next level. We're really trying as hard as we can for you. And all I can say is instead of getting angry like I do, I mean, I blew up today on air and off air because this is so upsetting for my family and your family. But we need to really realize how bad this is. I mean, this is horrible. People say, oh, don't fake cry. No, I'm holding back tears. And it's not like you even, like, physically, I feel sad and bummed out, but it's like your body is sad. Like your body's like, you should be crying, and you start feeling your eyes water. I mean, it's like, this really is horrible. This is so horrible, the direction this country's going in. And again, this health care plan is so unconstitutional. And it's so horrible. Come on in. Oh, yeah, well, they can come on in, but the show's basically over now. Yeah, come on in, guys. And then we're going to go do the Nightly News tonight as well. So when we've got a news crew here doing an interview. So that's it for this hour of worldwide transmission. Sorry to some of the callers. I got to most of you. But we'll be talking about this more, obviously, here on the broadcast in the future. Big news dealing with the troops being massed in and around London at Infowars.com. Here is a story out of the London Telegraph. Olympic roof missiles residents to launch legal action. So we're going to be watching that report as well. I tell you what, we'll do some overdrive and go to some of these callers. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Endorsing Mitt Romney was a punch in the stomach. This is like 100 punches in the stomach. And the way the media played it, like, oh, they weren't going to rule for Obama health care, the takeover of health care. And then, of course, they did rule for it. Very, very frightening to know that even if Mitt Romney gets in, that he supports it. Like Obama saying he'll legalize the illegal aliens, and Mitt Romney comes out and says, yeah, I'll do that too. But then gives speeches saying he won't to conservatives. It's just amazing because they're bought and paid for by the same people. Let's talk to Janine in Minnesota, then we will take a few other calls as well. Janine, go ahead.
Hey, Alex.
Hi.
Breaking news. This new ruling, they've been doing it to me for about 8 months. The money's just disappearing out of my checking account. I didn't give them any information. I got a phone call saying we're going to charge you $50 a month and $100 a month as a penalty. It just goes out of my, and I'm on.
Well, I saw that 2 years ago, even before they'd passed the law. It came out in the news that the state was already telling people they were going to start forcing them to do it, and they would take the money. You're saying in Minnesota, they take money out of your bank account for health care?
Yeah, and I'm dying of cancer.
Oh, my God.
Third type of cancer. And I used to work for the Mayo Clinic.
That's just terrible. So who's taking it out? The state of Minnesota?
IRS. No, it's the department. I get pieces of mail from the Treasury Department.
I knew they were already phasing it in. So even before the Supreme Court ruled on this, they were already sucking money out of your bank account.
On a $1,500 bill, they put a levy on my home.
My God, that is so incredibly predatory. We're going to have to look into this. I mean, I knew, as soon as you talked about it, I knew that I'd seen reports of it. But wow, so they take money out of your bank account, the IRS, the Treasury Department does, claiming that that's for your health care.
No, claiming that it's to pay for medical bills that I had incurred. And it's $50 just the bill, and then $100 in penalties. And I didn't give them any information. They had. But
I'll tell you what's amazing about this. They're not supposed to be able to take people's bank accounts for medical bills. You're not supposed to even be able to call them. I said I try to stay out of hospitals, but one time I did cut my finger really bad, and they called an ambulance. It happened on the lake, and I said, okay, I'll ride in the ambulance. And it drove like 40 miles an hour and everything, and got there. And I paid everything. I had insurance, and I paid, and I kept getting this $500 bill for the ambulance, and went and looked. We'd paid it, and they just didn't stop calling. My goodness. So this is already happening. Treasury, we have to look into this. The Treasury takes money out of your account to pay for medical bills.
Yeah, I just got a phone call notifying me that it was happening.
How long ago did this happen?
About 8 months.
So 8 months before this had been upheld by the Supreme Court, it was already happening. Well, here it is. They call it a tax, and they take the money and give it to foreign banks. So that's what this country's turned into. God bless you, ma'am. Sorry to hear you have cancer. You know, a lot of cancer is viral, so if you work around it a lot, you can get it. What type of cancer did you develop? All right, she's gone. We are out of time, ladies and gentlemen, for this segment. But we shall return in the retransmission. A lot of stations and XM carry this hour. It's really the first hour. I break down the healthcare plan. Get ready for the rage, because I remember how hot I was at the start of the transmission. Stay with us.